Welcome to Letting Go with Aloha. Today, I'm interviewing someone that I've been trying to interview for a while now. He is a former PQ client, Positive Intelligence. I think I'll be asking him the first question about what is Positive Intelligence to him and what he gained from the program. But who is he? He's an international explorer. He's an avid runner. He's training for a full marathon. He's a current bartender and server at Chili's. He's an experiential producer. We'll learn more about that. Self-help enthusiast and a future podcaster. Let's welcome Michael Morales.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, I just thought of this is a surprise question. I gave Michael a few questions, but I think I want to start off with what did you think about the PQ program? Because you and your friend Alyssa, who we will hopefully have in the weeks to come, did the program. What do you think? If someone said, "What is the PQ program?" What would you say?
I would say it's going to change your life in a couple weeks. Honestly, it kind of really helped me out learning a lot of my sabotages and some of my downfalls, but it also brought a lot of different methods to bring peace and just like positive energy to my life as well.
Wow, love that in a nutshell. Perfect. And so, my first question will involve Michael's amazing international adventures. He turned 29. I'm sure you don't mind sharing that. But in
No,
28 years, he traveled to how many countries?
I traveled to 29 countries, and
That
my
is,
goal is to still
uh
hit one more by the time I'm 30. So we're on the track of hitting one more by next June.
that is insane. What inspired you to be an international explorer? Did you always travel when you were younger, or what was about traveling that kind of enticed you? Like, I need to do this.
See, that's what most people think, but actually, I give all the credit to I went to college to San Diego State and I was in their hospitality and tourism program. And within the program, you actually have a requirement to travel abroad, like for a certain amount of time. So in 2018, my first time ever, I went to Sydney, Australia, and spent 6 months over there studying abroad. And I will say, just from the moment I spent my time in a different country, I traveled throughout Australia and also made my way to Bali. And I think when people say you get the travel bug, it is true because something turned into me where I just was like wanting to explore the world and see it all. And that's exactly what I did since 2018.
Wow. So, what would you suggest to someone who wants to travel but has a lot of fears?
I was just actually thinking about this earlier today because I was thinking about traveling and what people ask me. And I know it's easier said than done, but I always tell people just do it. The more that you think about it, your fears are going to kind of come in and start kind of taking over your mindset, and then that's when you're more prone to getting scared and not doing it. Whereas if you just get somebody to help you plan it or kind of like talk you through the different scenarios that could happen and how you can be prepared for that, your mind kind of is like a little bit more at ease. So my biggest recommendation is don't think about it, just book it and you'll figure out all the details later on.
What do you think is the thrill or like the solo traveling? I know
Hmm.
a lot of people who want to do the solo traveling. What do you think the benefits are for solo traveling rather than going with a friend or a group?
Oh my gosh, so many. I always tell my mom too how I think with traveling, it's the one time I'm very much a person who wants to be in control and something that I'm working on. But I feel like when I solo travel, anything can happen. And I'm always like, Michael, like let room for spontaneous things to happen or anything. But I will say solo traveling has allowed me to be more confident because you're alone. You have to make those hard decisions. You have to plan your day. But also, it's allowed me to be more spontaneous, where I do like to have a good itinerary, but I leave room where if I see a museum or I see a street that I want to go down, just go explore or a park, you have that option because when you're with a group, I've had friends where they'll bluntly tell me, Michael, I don't want to go do this, or I don't want to do a walking tour, or why do we have to go here? And I'm like, you guys, I really want to go. And so it's and vice versa. Like they might want to do something that I don't want to do. So solo traveling gives you that opportunity to do whatever you want, whenever you want, and as much as you want.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. I think sometimes I would think that it would be lonely, but I had a friend who said sometimes she feels more lonely with a group rather than by herself.
And don't get me wrong, you do have your lonely times. I've had plenty of different trips where I might be at a park and I'll see a family playing or I see friends laughing and I get in my head immediately where I'm like, wow, I wish I had some friends or I wish I had that. But in my own opinion, I kind of just like snap myself out of it, reframe my mind where I'm like, okay, Michael, yes, you could be having that experience, but you're also having this experience right now. And take advantage of that experience where, okay, feel the feelings. I'm not saying don't feel them, but also remember you're in Madrid or you're in Italy. Like, you can, the world is at your, like, at your fingertips. You can do whatever you want. So I think just reframing your mind of saying, like, you're in this moment and don't feel sad. Think about all the things that you could do alone.
Well, that sounds like a life skill. I mean, that you can apply it to real life because don't you think oftentimes you think, especially on Instagram, that's the whole thing about scrolling, right? Oh, wow, they're doing this and I'm only doing this. So, is that one of the areas when you said future podcaster? What do you envision, like your dream podcast, maybe guests, or what your topics would be? Have you thought of that?
I have, and I get overwhelmed by it because I want my podcast to be very free. Like, I don't know. I don't like limitations. I don't like having restrictions. Although I know with like marketing and audience and stuff may be a little bit hard, but I think when I envision my podcast, I want it to be a platform to literally have anyone come on and talk about anything. So of course, like I would love to share about my experiences, what I go through, maybe my childhood, my upbringing, but I also want to give a platform to like other people to talk about their positives or their challenges that they went through, or even if they had a study abroad experience that changed their life and they want to come on, or even somebody maybe like a freshman in college. What's their first year like? What did they go through? Like I don't know. I just have all these different types of people that I would love to come on, and so I would like it to be very free. And like I want it to be positive, but I also want it to be where people can even come and talk about their traumas and what they've go
Mhm.
through because I feel like it's very healing as well to talk about what you experienced. So I don't know, when I look at like, self-help, what I'm very into, I also want to give someone a platform, maybe like what they went through with a single parent or maybe domestic violence or something else, just, something to be able to come and talk about and spread more awareness. So I want it to be very fun and lighthearted, but also serious at times too.
Well, it sounds very inspirational because all you need is the one person to hear what they need to hear. And it could be coming from you, coming from a guest. What do you think inspires you today?
Honestly, just making change and just again for the experience part, I just think everything in life is an experience. Like whether you're, for instance, whether I'm serving and the way that I look at it is, I could be doing like an 8-year-old birthday, or maybe, they're there because they're visiting somebody at the hospital who's not doing well and they might remember that experience. And I feel like what motivates me or I'm very passionate about is just connecting with people and bringing joy and, just bringing that positive light to their life because being in hospitality, what I've learned is you really have to understand that you don't know what people are going through. And to get
Hmm.
you through this industry, you kind of have to just be like a very like hard wall where like people could be nasty to you, but remember like you don't know what's going on in their life as well. So for me, it's just connections, just positivity, just being someone's experience in their life that they'll remember forever.
Wow. So I think this next question I thought of, and you would be the perfect one to answer because when you are not being received well, not appreciated, like a lot of us in our day to day, right, experiences,
Hmm.
any tips on how we can like handle the anger, the resentment? Like, wait a minute, I didn't deserve that. A lot of times you're triggered or you just treated not very nice. And you can't say, you know what? I'm sure you feel like it sometimes. Like, wait, should I even be here to serve these mean people? What gets you through that?
For me, I've had to learn very hard. Like I learned a lot of different skills. And I even think having so many customer service jobs and being in the hospitality this whole time, it's definitely just patience, breathing, that's what one thing I learned very well in the PQ program is taking your breaths, reframing your mind, again, putting yourself in their shoes and remembering that they whatever they're going through, it's not about you. Like it's never about you and you just have to remember that.
Powerful words. It is never about you. Well, let's take a short break and we'll return more with Michael.
Mafe Management is a company dedicated to empowering individuals and businesses in PR and marketing, social media management, online show and podcast production, business consulting, graphic design, photography and videography, workshops and classes, events management, personality development, logo creation, illustrations, and animation. In working together to turn their dreams into reality. Get one step closer to elevating yourself and your business by contacting hello@mafemanagement.com. Let us empower you.
Speaking of empowerment, what empowers you?
What empowers me? I feel like being a role model for my nieces and nephews, I take that very to heart because I think being a better person and just trying to make a change in the world to me is huge for me. So that's definitely one of my biggest empowerments. It's just even other student or like I said, students as far as like showing other people that they could achieve their dreams or do whatever they want to do. So definitely just showing people that whatever you want to do in life, go for it.
Go for it and take that first step. Yeah, I love that. And so when you do, you must have multiple experiences in advising your nieces and nephews. What advice would you give someone, say in middle school, who suffers from anxiety, the need to fit in, just that whole, I think all of us, right, feel
Mhm.
sometimes self-judge takes over. What advice would you give them?
Start off by being kind and nice to yourself because, like you said, the self judge, which is also what I learned in PQ, is very, very brutal. And I put it as like a person. I always say he's gonna come and tear you down. And I think just reminding yourself to love yourself. Life is gonna be okay. Especially say if I was talking to a middle schooler, those are
Mhm.
some tough years, man.
Very
So
tough.
so definitely just knowing that it's okay as you get older, you'll learn who your friends are, you'll learn who you are, you'll become more confident and just not being so hard on yourself. Also, what I learned over the years is not really caring about other people's opinions too much because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what you think of yourself. Of course, in the workforce and stuff, when you get older, that's different. But, I just think image and other people's perspective, only matters to a certain extent.
When it must, and it does affect your self esteem because if you believe even the slightest look that someone's giving you, and it could just be, something they're thinking of, but when you're
Mhm.
in that sensitive phase, you think, oh my gosh, do they think that I'm weird? I've had kids go, yeah, he doesn't like me. Why? I could just tell. But you don't know what's going on, right? So would you tell someone, and someone just told me that she's 16, yeah, I think I'm just going to be alone forever. That feeling that, and you're 16, you think you have the whole life ahead of you. What do you tell someone who just feels like, no, you don't understand? I'm going to be alone.
Karen, I'm still figuring it out. I feel like I just thought about this too, being 29, and I, saw a couple of videos where you really think that you have life figured out, and
Hmm.
you realize, you honestly may not know anything, and I think for that, like I do it to myself, even with serving, where somebody gives me a look, and I immediately go, oh, they don't like me, or I'm giving bad service, or somebody kind of says something to me rude, and I
Hmm.
immediately kind of go to like, what did I do? What could I do better? But I think again, at the end of the day, as long as you're doing your best that you can, and what I'm starting to learn is like whatever is meant for you will come. Like whatever is in your pathway it's going to come. And if it doesn't come, that means it's not meant for you.
I love that. And I think you're right, no matter what age. When my daughter, who's about to be, 30 in a couple of years, she's like, I got to figure out, what I want to do because I'm in my 30s. And I tell her, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. And I'm going to be 60. I think when you realize no one knows all the answers. So I love how you said that, like what is meant to be. So how would you coach someone through, if they really, really want to dream? And they know that they can't, they won't, like maybe it's like a mother. I mean, someone
Mhm.
wanting to be a mother or someone who wants to do something and they find out that can't happen. Sometimes when you hear, oh, it was meant to be, it's hard to like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that I'm meant to be sad?
No, yeah, that's true. I would say, I guess, definitely look at all your options. In that
Mm-hmm.
type of case, I would say maybe take baby steps to do your research and see what other options are out there. That is very true because, some people might just be like, oh, well, it's not meant for me or it's not meant to be. But I would say don't give up. If
Yeah.
you have a dream, like I think that's what it is. Even with some of like the things that I want to do, I've been told, oh no, it's not gonna happen. And I do let myself sometimes go through periods where I'm like, yeah, you're right. It might not happen. And then I have to kind of, do a little bit of research, see how I could still make this happen, and then kind of tell myself again, like, okay, maybe right now where I'm at in life, it's not meant to be. It's not meant for the period that you're in. So I think even for like that scenario, like maybe the period that they're at in their life, it's not meant for them to have a family, have a child, but maybe later on they'll another option or opportunity will arise and that will be their moment in their life for them to have that family or whatever they're looking for.
Well, I love that because sometimes you could be the best aunt. Have someone who's like,
Mhm.
she decided to volunteer. But I love when you said maybe it's not yet, because sometimes we think, it's been 3 years. It's been whatever years. Like you said, sometimes you're 29. The shoulds. Tell us
Mhm.
what you've learned about the shoulds.
The shoulds that I look at, I'm like, Michael, you're 29. I would have thought I was been like an event planner already, working for a sports team, which is what I wanted to do, or a music festival. I thought I would have already probably been in a relationship, had a family. I don't know, all these different things that now I'm like, okay, you are bartending and serving at a restaurant, which not the end of the world, but it does have its challenges. But it does allow me to do what I love to do, and that's traveling. And right now, I'm okay with that. I've accepted that, you know what, you can't have it all in this lifetime, even as much as maybe my friends and family will say that I want to have it all. But yeah, I've learned that it's just not possible. And right now, I'm okay with that. And just, yeah, don't look at the shoulds. Just be in the present, really accept where you're at in life. And that's meant where you are supposed to be at right there in that moment.
So do you practice gratitude to kind of combat the shoulds? Because
I
then
do. I
instead
actually
of going like, oh,
journal.
I should be doing this. Yeah, talk about journaling and how you start accepting and maybe how gratitude has changed your mindset.
I feel like every day we've within my friend groups, we try to do a little like three things that we're grateful for because same thing in the PQ program, gratitude was something that it really brought into my life. And I have like a little black journal that I just use for gratitude. So I'll just do like I'm grateful for this, or I do a lot of like I am statements for confidence and other things. But yeah, I think just right now, like in this moment, I'm grateful to have a job. I'm grateful
Mhm.
to have my family and friends near me because I spent so much time being away from them or traveling. I'm grateful to even just have this opportunity to speak with you and share these experiences. So definitely practice gratitude because you'll never really see kind of like one little thing that you might not have anymore, and then it really changes your life in many different directions.
Definitely. So can you share like a simple gratitude? Those days that are really challenging and you think, what can I be grateful for? Those days. What can we think?
Well,
What can
as
we think to
cliche
be
as it
grateful?
is, I tell myself a lot. I'm grateful to be alive and to be breathing. I feel like that's just as simple as it can get, no matter how hard, what challenges you're going through in life. If you're alive and you're breathing and you're healthy, those are like the most important things.
Yeah, I think we overlook it, don't you think? Because we
Yeah, it's
think
very
we should
simple,
aspire
but
to be this. We should be making X number of dollars. And then when you see someone on a breathing machine or someone just struggling, like
mhm.
physically, does that kind of, wait a minute, I do have a lot of gratitude?
Oh yeah, definitely. And even when I get a little spoiled, I'm like, for instance, like running, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go run in this heat, but maybe somebody is in the hospital and they're not able to feel the sun, or even in the winter, like they're not able to feel this weather. There's just so many different things that I kind of have to tell myself, like, okay, be grateful. You're able to experience the nature, the outside, the weather, so many things that there's people that might not be able to experience it anymore.
What a great reminder. So if someone wants to find you, you guys have to follow Michael's Instagram. Very, very inspirational. And you feel like you're tagging along on your travels. That's what I love about it too.
Well, thank you.
So where can they find you?
They can find me at Mikey Jr. _209. I do like to post a lot on there. I have been trying to get a little TikTok going, so I've been trying to make more videos where I do want to start talking more about like my traveling and maybe just like showcasing, restaurants, bars, different spots for things to do in different areas. So yeah.
And my closing question, this is spontaneous since I am leaving for Australia on September 13th. What is the one thing that I should do or see?
Okay, this is specifically for Sydney or Australian in general?
Well, I'll be Sydney, Brisbane, and Cairns, but anything that actually, I'm going to be spending most of the time in Sydney. So if you
Okay.
had to just see one thing or do one
Definitely
thing,
go see. We'll definitely go see like the Harbor Bridge and the Opera House. I just love being down there. I would say for sure, like spend a lot of time over there. I want to say it's been so many years, but I think it's called Circular Quay or Darling Harbor area where there's like a lot of cute restaurants and
yeah,
stuff.
I heard about
Yeah,
that.
I have to try to remember, but there's a lot of cute restaurants. Australia in general, definitely in Cairns or Cairns.
Cans.
I always
Yeah,
miss.
no, it looks like Cairns, and my daughter's like, no, it's cans as in tin cans.
But I went bungee jumping and it's
Oh
really
my.
pretty. Yeah, over there I went like bungee jumping and snorkeling and interest area as well.
Wow. Great suggestions. I don't know if I'll do the bungee jumping thing, but I will definitely do the little restaurants in the Darling Harbor. But
Well,
any
you can
closing
check out all
remarks?
the beaches.
Definitely. And I have Taronga Zoo and I have the Koala Sanctuary. So I'm all about the animals and like having, experiences.
Yes,
But
definitely check
what
those out.
is your motto? We'll close with your life motto. I'm just going to throw it out there.
My life motto, I never really thought about this. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. If you had to choose one right now, it could be the
Um,
motto of the day then. How's that? The motto of today.
Motto of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember to smile and love your hug ones.
I think we don't do enough of that. You just take
We
advantage
don't.
of it, but especially, I mean, you just think that they're always going to be there. So if I ever met you, is that the first thing you would do? I feel like I know you. I've never met
I
Michael in
think for me,
person.
it's smiling. I feel like I always just try to have a
Yes.
smile on my face and just to share happiness because there's too much hate in this world. So smile and be positive.
So that's the lesson and the motto, you guys. Smile and just practice kindness. I think we'll have like
Exactly.
less hatred, right?
Right? I agree.
Well, thank you, Michael. This has been so much fun. And I look forward to meeting you and Alyssa one day. I know it's going to happen.
It will. I have it on my bucket list. It will. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.